What I'm about to show you has been hidden for over a century. There's a secret blueprint that powerful groups use to manipulate crowds and start riots whenever they need chaos. And I can prove it. Most people think riots just happen. Someone gets angry, a crowd forms, things spiral out of control, but that's exactly what they want you to believe. In the next 12 minutes, I'm going to expose 5 historical riots that were secretly engineered from behind the scenes. And, more terrifyingly, I'm going to show you the exact playbook these groups used, step by step. By the end of this video, you'll never look at mass protests the same way again. Let's dive in. Before we start, I need you to know, everything I'm about to tell you is documented. We're talking declassified FBI files, Senate investigations, and confessions from the people who actually did this. This isn't conspiracy theory. This is documented history that most people have never heard about, and here's why this matters. The same tactics are being used right now, so pay attention. January 9th, 1905, St. Petersburg, Russia. Thousands of workers march peacefully toward the Winter Palace carrying icons and portraits of Tsar Nicholas II. They're led by a charismatic priest named Father Georgy Gapon. The workers trust him completely. They're just asking for better working conditions. Nothing radical. But then, disaster. Imperial troops open fire on the unarmed crowd. Hundreds are killed. The bloodshed triggers the 1905 revolution. Exactly what the government wanted to justify a brutal crackdown. Here's what they didn't tell you. Father Gapon was secretly working with the Russian secret police the entire time. Declassified records reveal that Gapon's Assembly of Russian Workers was actually created by the Okhrana, the Tsar's secret police, as a controlled opposition group. The march was orchestrated specifically to provoke violence. This is what's called an agent provocateur, someone who pretends to lead a movement but actually works for the government. Gapon led peaceful workers into a trap, gave authorities the excuse they needed, and sparked controlled chaos. And this isn't even the craziest one. Quick question, have you ever seen something like this happen in modern times? Drop a comment right now, because after you see case study number 2, you're going to have some theories. Also hit subscribe because this video can be suppressed. Let's prove them wrong. Akikabi Sumber Shurs, Alberdabber 1 on Chicago. The Black Panther Party is gaining massive support, not through violence, but through community programs, free breakfast for kids, health clinics, education. Their leader, 21-year-old Fred Hampton, is building something powerful, the Rainbow Coalition, bringing together Black, Latino, and poor white communities. The FBI is terrified, not of violence, but of unity. This is a declassified FBI memo from J. Edgar Hoover. It literally says their goal is to prevent the rise of a messiah who could unify the black nationalist movement, so they launched COINTELPRO, the FBI's illegal counterintelligence program, and here's their playbook. Step 1. Infiltrate. They planted an FBI informant named William O'Neill directly in Hampton's inner circle, as his head of security. Step 2. Sow discord. O'Neill sent fake letters between Panther members to create paranoia and distrust. Step 3. Set the trap. On December 3, 1969, O'Neill drugged Fred Hampton's drink with a sedative. Then he gave the FBI a detailed floor plan of Hampton's apartment, including where he slept. At 4:40 a.m. on December 4th, Chicago police raided the apartment and shot Fred Hampton while he slept. They fired 99 shots. The Panthers fired 1. The official story: a shootout with dangerous militants. The truth? A coordinated assassination proven in a 13-year civil lawsuit where the government paid $1.85 million to settle. They didn't just infiltrate a movement, they manufactured evidence, provoked violence, and murdered a 21-year-old organizer. All documented. I know this is heavy, but you need to know this. If you're still watching, drop it in the comments. And if you think I should make a full deep dive series on COINTELPRO, let me know. Now let's talk about the actual playbook they use. After studying dozens of cases, from the 1900s to today, there's a consistent pattern. Here's the 5-step playbook. Step 1. Infiltrate. Plant agents inside legitimate movements, gain trust, rise to leadership positions. Step 2. Amplify extremism. Push the most radical ideas. Make reasonable people look crazy. Suggest violent tactics. Research from MIT professor Gary Marx shows agent provocateurs specifically encourage illegal activities to justify crackdowns. Step 3. Create division. Send fake letters, spread rumors, turn allies against each other. Paranoia destroys movements from within. Step 4. Trigger the event. At the perfect moment, often when the movement is gaining real power, provoke a violent incident. This gives authorities exactly what they need: public backlash, legal justification for arrests, and media coverage that delegitimizes the entire movement. Step 5. Control the narrative. Flood the media with the official story. Anyone who questions it is labeled a conspiracy theorist. This isn't theory, this is how it actually works, and it's happened over and over again throughout history. Let's jump to something more recent. 2020. Protests are happening across America. The vast majority are peaceful, but then, suddenly, riots break out, windows smashed, fires started. The media pivots from covering police brutality to covering violent protesters. Here's what makes it suspicious. Multiple journalists and activists documented people in black bloc clothing, faces covered, showing up at peaceful protests specifically to start violence, then disappearing. In Minneapolis, a man in a gas mask, later identified as a police officer from another city, was filmed methodically breaking windows at an AutoZone while protesters yelled at him to stop. In Richmond, Virginia, undercover police were exposed posing as protesters. In Oakland, a federal officer pleaded guilty to shooting at a police station while pretending to be a protester. This isn't ancient history. This is the same playbook, being used right now. So, why does this work so effectively? 3 reasons. 1. Emotional contagion. Scientists have proven that emotions, especially fear and anger, spread through crowds like wildfire. One violent act can shift an entire gathering. 2. Plausible deniability. When agents provocateur blend into real protesters, it's nearly impossible to prove who started what. The whole movement gets blamed. 3. Media amplification. Violence is more newsworthy than peaceful protest. One broken window gets more coverage than 10,000 peaceful demonstrators. It's psychological warfare, and it's devastatingly effective because most people never learn the full story. So, what do we do with this information? 3 things. First, educate yourself. Learn to spot the tactics. When you see sudden violence at peaceful events, ask questions. Second, don't let one incident define a movement. This is exactly what they want. Judge movements by their goals and actions, not by chaos that might be engineered. Third, spread awareness. The only reason these tactics work is because most people don't know they exist. That's why videos like this matter. That's why your comment, your share, your subscribe actually makes a difference. Look, I know this is uncomfortable. Nobody wants to believe that the chaos we see might be manufactured, but the evidence is overwhelming. Father Gapon led workers to their deaths. The FBI assassinated Fred Hampton. Agent provocateurs are still being deployed today. The question is, what are you going to do with this information? If this opened your eyes, smash that subscribe button. I've got more videos exposing hidden systems of control. Drop a comment telling me which case study shocked you most. Stay curious, stay critical, and I'll see you in the next one. Thank you for watching.